look at that market. We're back up again. I don't know what's happened in the stimulus talks, but we're back up 90 points for the Dow, up 105 for the Nasdaq. Plenty of green today. Here's what I want to get back to. Election chaos that I see coming because of mail-in voting. On your screens right now, states that have had one issue or another with the whole process. Ballots found in a dumpster in New Jersey. Military ballots from Trump supporters found in a ditch in Pennsylvania. Not to mention blunder after blunder after blunder on the ballots themselves. Justin Haskins is with us, Heartland Institute kind of guy. Justin, I see chaos coming. Can you tell me if there's any resolution possible?
No. I don't think there's any resolution possible. I think we're truly on the road to an absolute catastrophe. What most people don't realize is that mail-in balloting has been dramatically expanded in the wake of the coronavirus. This is not something that most states did in the past prior to the coronavirus. Many mail-in ballots get thrown out, even when the process is running smoothly. In New York, for example, earlier this year when they held their primaries, more than 20% of the ballots were thrown out because they were improperly signed or the signatures didn't line up or the ink wasn't right. The same sort of thing happened in Pennsylvania and in other states. If 5 to 10% of all the ballots are being thrown out in the upcoming election, and if it's a close election, how can anyone say with any certainty that this election is a valid election? Who's going to feel confident in the outcome of this election?
But that's where the legal challenges come in, don't they? As soon as you start throwing out a ballot for one reason or another, in come the lawyers and say, you can't throw that one out. You've got to count all the votes. I mean, there's no, it's not just the delay in counting. It's the fact that the lawyers are going to contest everything and spin it out even longer.
That's exactly right. And if you have millions and millions of ballots across the entire country being challenged, and you have lawyers haggling over whether this signature really does in fact match the signature that they have on file from someone who filled out a form 10 years earlier when they registered to vote, just imagine how long this process is going to go on. If we have a close election, this is going to drag on potentially for months. We may not know in January who the actual president of the United States is going to be. And how is that going to affect the economy? How is that going to affect the stock market? These things are never good. Uncertainty is never good in the marketplace. And I think that that's where we're headed.
However, I'll give you one possible resolution to this problem, and that would be an absolutely huge blowout victory on either side. You only get a really tightly contested election if it's very narrow and close. A blowout would resolve a lot of problems. Am I right?
No, you're exactly right. Of course, it can't just be a blowout nationally. It has to be a blowout in all of these different states as well. If you have key swing states where the election is close, and that's what we saw in 2016, and that's what we've seen in elections past, then that's not going to happen even if the national popular vote is a blowout. But you're exactly right. If there is a large blowout and there's really no way for voter fraud to come into play, then people will feel confident in the outcome of the election, even if there are all these problems. That is the only hope we have, is a blowout from one side or the other.
We're in agreement, Justin. It's a mess, any way you slice it. Justin Haskins, Heartland Institute. Thank you, sir. See you again real soon.